Artists been using their lyrics as quotes for a good minute, but now you're able to repurpose the parts of a video that you would have ordinarily just cut and deleted. You would have found your little catchy parts and then everything else you would have just trashed, right? Now you can reframe what you would have just trashed before and position it in a way that fits the lyrics or whatever message you're trying to get across. And don't just chop up your video and throw stuff out there. The whole point of this is to get creative, right? And by using this strategy, you're gonna have a whole bunch of different opportunities to test out different captions and hooks. So 5 videos that can turn to 15, which you can then turn into 50. I mean, that's content creating for the win, man. What's good and welcome to Indie Leverage. We're back again with episode number 6 of the Let's Talk About It show, and we're looking for some of the best advice online for independent artists between creating the content, marketing, branding, business, and everything else. Great music alone is just not enough. So let's talk about it. We're going to pop off the episode with a little clip from Taz Taylor, and he's got a few words to say about how producers get paid.
We can't sit around and wait 3 years on an artist to not sign a contract because their lawyer can't hunt them down, so we don't get our mother beat fee. And yes, that does happen. Even the internet money, bro, you'd be surprised how many of these big major label artists can't their lawyer can't get them on the phone, and they don't sign paperwork, and they don't do proper business, and we still ain't been paid for beat fees that happen 3 years ago, 2 years ago. That shit done went gold. That shit done went platinum. We ain't making money off this shit. So people are mad at producers for going and selling for $30 a piece. Let me tell you what, I was on the internet selling the same lease, hitting that shit 30, 30, 30, 30. So I want to come, bet you could get the same beat, big dog, right here for $50. Oh, you want the same beat for 200? All right, bet I got the premium waves, bro. You could get the track outs with this bro.
Look, this man said he had a placement that done hit platinum, and they still haven't paid him for it. Yeah, man, that's wild. And saying that even the lawyers can't get their artists on the phone. And me personally, there's 2 people whose phone calls I ain't never gonna ignore, and that's gonna be my doctor and my lawyer. Especially if your song just went platinum. And I get that a lot of these major label artists initially are only eating off their advance, but still, you could really be leaving some money on the table, or really it could be anything. But that's why I say, just like my doctor, there ain't no way I'm gonna be ghosting my lawyer, bro. Like, I don't know who he was referring to when he said that that people get mad at producers for selling beat leases for $30 or whatever. But like he said, why would they not keep selling the same beat lease to artists? We all know how important multiple streams of income are, no matter what level you're at. So I don't see how anybody could be upset at producers for being in their beat leasing bag, because, I don't even know what logical argument someone could even have about that. But I just wanted to pull this video up because, man, y'all need to respect these producers. For the longest time, I was buying every beat that I needed. And bro, I'm telling you, I don't think some artists realize how much value a solid producer has and how much of a process it is to create a beat from scratch. But it's not just about having somebody who has an expertise in what you need. It's not just about the quality of beats that you get. It's also about the time that you save when all you have to do is come in and worry about your vocals. Especially if you end up getting cool with a producer, you end up working together more consistently, and you usually end up forming a real solid connection where they already know what sound you like. They know exactly what type of beat they need to pull up. Yeah, man, I guess all I'm saying is just do right by your producers, or if not, at least learn to just go make your own beats, bro. Like, that way you could just do you and do everything by yourself. But if you do decide to work with a producer and you buy or you lease a beat through them, then, just practice good business, man. It's not that hard. Word travels super fast, and it's a lot harder to work with people if everyone thinks you just slimy. But on that note, we about to switch up things entirely with this next clip from 701 Max. He said he got the sauce on how you can easily make 15 videos in one day. Whew. So let's talk about that.
If you make music and you're struggling with content ideas to promote your song, do this. Write down 5 locations that you can easily shoot content at for free. Next, listen to your song and pick out the 3 catchiest parts. Then I want you to go to each of those 5 locations and record yourself performing the whole song with the music playing in the background. You might need to bring a speaker and a friend or a tripod to hold the camera.
Yo, it's Max, and I ain't never lie. I'm at the Chinese store, like hurry up and buy.
Next, download the CapCut app and upload the videos you just shot. Next, you're gonna use the auto lyrics feature to add lyrics to your video. Once you've done that for all 5 videos, export them and upload them back into CapCut. Now, you're gonna chop these videos up into 3 10 to 20 second parts. These parts will be based on the catchiest parts of the song that you decided earlier on before you started shooting. Now you have 15 pieces of content that you can post throughout the month, which is literally enough to post 3 to 4 times a week.
Bro really just dropped a gem right there, man. And honestly, I don't even think he realized it. But before I get into that, I just want to say, yes, scouting the different locations and recording a video at each spot is definitely the move. But the real gem that he just dropped is when he said that you should record a video of you performing the entire song at each location. That's the key word, man, the entire song. I know he said pick the 3 catchiest parts of your song so you can end up with 15 videos in total. But the real question is, how do you know what the catchiest part of your song is? Especially with platforms like TikTok, man, where sometimes any quote or phrase can end up being catchy and it goes viral and millions of people use the sound. So I feel like it's so much deeper than using the hook and finding a couple of catchy parts throughout your verse. That's just the surface level, and that's where most artists stop at. But think about where people are consuming this. This is short form content. People are just looking for entertainment and they'll keep scrolling until they find it, right? On the last episode, I talked about how a lot of artists create their content from a selfish place, where they only post things based off of what benefits them. And if you ain't catch that episode, you should check it out after this. I'm gonna make sure I put it down in the description for you. But by limiting what parts of the song that you use based off of what you think is most catchy, you could potentially be missing out on a ton of exposure, you feel me? Plus, not to mention all of the extra content that you'll have. So bro really did drop a gem when he said record the entire song. But instead of only looking for 3 of the catchiest parts, don't put any particular number on it and just look for all of the catchiest parts in the song. It could be 3, it could be 1. If you think only the chorus is catchy, that's cool. If you find 7 different parts that are catchy and they get stuck in your head, then that's cool too. Right now, what you're doing is you're just going through that surface level part, like I told you, where you're just looking for the catchy parts of the song. But now, once you got all of the surface level parts taken care of, we're going to take it another step further. Instead of looking for the catchiest parts, start looking for what you think could be the most entertaining. Again, remember where people are consuming this content. Finding new music is an added bonus, but most people are really there for the entertainment. You feel me? Like sometimes that does come in the form of good music. So that's why on the surface level, you want to get all the catchy parts knocked out. But when it comes to entertainment, you can take like one phrase or even one line from your song and position it in some way to make it entertaining or relatable or whatever purpose that you think that it has. But when you start to break down your song, basically line by line, as a creative person, I'm telling you, you're going to start naturally coming up with ways you can incorporate a specific part of your song and make it entertaining. So let's say you're an artist like Kendrick or J. Cole, right? I know they usually got pretty catchy hooks or even some catchy melodies throughout the verses, but let's say they was an upcoming artist and they only used the catchiest parts of the songs. And this strategy could be used for anyone, no matter what style or genre, but with these 2 specifically as examples, if they never made videos to the other parts in their songs just because they didn't see them as quote unquote catchy, then they would be cutting out some of their best lyrics, you feel me? And you never know how a phrase or even one line can impact people. I mean, think about how sometimes we'll use a line from a song as a caption or we'll use it as a tweet, right? That's basically what you could be doing, but in video format. And some of the lines you have, you're going to want to keep them together, but some lines will be able to stand on their own completely. So it could be like a 5-second video, and depending on what you say and how the video looks and what context you give it, using text on the screen or the caption, those little 5 seconds could be exactly what takes off and millions of people see it. Because it's not just about pushing your song. It's also about pushing you and your brand, you feel me? This whole music artist journey can be pretty lonely sometimes. You know, you already chasing something that most people won't understand. You got people that say they want to be music artists, but then you go to talk to them about business or marketing or shit strategy in general, and then they got nothing. Their whole idea of networking with other artists is sending out links and basically panhandling for likes, comments, and plays on their music. And it wasn't until I went all in and I got the coaching, I watched the videos, I joined the master classes, I took the courses, I went all in. It wasn't until then that I realized how much time I was really wasting with these people who is never gonna take this as seriously as I do. So if you a true musicpreneur, then I'd like to offer you a lifeline and invite you to a one-on-one session with me that we'll treat like your own personal mastermind, where I'll answer any questions and we can strategize actionable steps tailored to your unique situation. I'm only opening up a limited number of slots each month, so if you'd like to apply, you can visit www.indieleverage.com/live call. And don't worry, I put the link down in the description for you. So for now, let's get back to the video. And yeah, one line, it probably won't be the catchiest thing and it won't automatically get stuck in somebody's head. Most likely, probably not, right? But what it can do is connect with people or entertain them. I mean, a lot of it depends on what style of music you make, but hopefully, you know, your wheels are turning right now, thinking of all the different possibilities and things you could do. I've had songs where I've been able to take a performance video and break it down into 15 videos off of just that one 2 to 3 minute video. So if you're doing that with 5 videos, you can literally turn that into 50 or even 75 videos depending on the song and like what you can find within it. So not only do you have way more content than you would have, but you're also turning what was once a music focused piece of content into something that feels more like a quote, which, like I said, that's nothing new. Artists been using their lyrics as quotes for a good minute, but now you're able to repurpose the parts of a video that you would have ordinarily just cut and deleted. You would have found your little catchy parts and then everything else you would have just trashed, right? Now you can reframe what you would have just trashed before and position it in a way that fits the lyrics or whatever message you're trying to get across. And don't just chop up your video and throw stuff out there. The whole point of this is to get creative, right? And by using this strategy, you're going to have a whole bunch of different opportunities to test out different captions and hooks. So 5 videos that can turn to 15, which you can then turn into 50. I mean, that's content creating for the win, man. But up next, let's go ahead and take a look at how Tyler, the Creator, compares the differences between a beat maker and a producer.
Beat making is just making a beat. It could just be the loop. It could just be the bass idea. But producing...
Are you a producer if you're a beat maker?
No. I don't think so. Okay. I think it's a way to differentiate it. Producing is like really making this 4-minute 100%. Only bringing in vocals here, bringing in the flute player just here. Actually, we'll turn this down, really bringing it together. And I try to do that with every song. I love moments. You listen to one of my songs, I love moments. The little that only come in once, or like having that bridge only come for 4 bars. And people are like, why didn't you loop it? Because of that moment. At the end, that one sound only coming there. Only having the vocal pads on the second hook.
I feel like some beat makers probably got hit after watching that video, man. But I mean, I kind of have to agree with them. There's a big difference between putting some loops together and being the creative mind behind how the whole vision of the song gets carried out. One thing that I feel like artists can take away from this clip, though, is how Tyler said he likes to create these little one-off moments in his music, right? And even if you're an artist that buys or leases their beats, that don't mean that your vocals have to be the only thing that you add to the song. Especially if you get, you know, the track out version of your beat where you have every instrument separated into different audio files. That gives you the opportunity to reconstruct the beat based off of your vision. And not only would you be able to add instrumentation to it, but, you know, you could even take something away depending on, you know, the vibe that you're trying to create. And not only do you get a production credit for that, but you also have the ability to tailor every sound to fit the exact vibe that you're going for. And really, hip hop is, I think, the only genre where a beat maker is, considered a producer. Everywhere else is exactly what Tyler was saying. Like, the producer is essentially like the conductor in an orchestra. In fact, it makes me want to look up the definition of a conductor real quick, man. Hold on. All right, so it says, most importantly, the conductor considers every aspect of the music and how to make it as inspiring and incredible as possible. And I mean, in a nutshell, that's basically what Tyler was saying, what a producer really does. So it's a lot more than just putting together some loops and the drum pattern and then calling it a day. And that's not to knock any beat maker out there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you've probably seen how talented some of these people are. But I think the point that he was making is, even if you create a beat that has this great vibe to it, it's really only the tip of the iceberg, you feel me? Like, looking at it, as like a big picture from a bird's eye point of view, a producer is able to look at everything and see how it fits into the entire vibe of the song. And they're worried about more than just how the instruments work together. And obviously, selling beats over the internet, there's only so much someone can do. So again, I don't think this was meant to disrespect any beat makers. I feel like he was just explaining how there's a difference between a beat maker and a producer. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think that there's a difference between a beat maker and a producer, or do you feel like they're basically just the same thing? But let's go ahead and switch it up a little bit in this next clip from Scotch Mist. He said that him and his band were able to fool the internet into listening to their song. And this is how he did it.
This is how we fooled the internet into listening to our new song. We were a week out from releasing our new song, Shadow Band, and we wanted a creative way to promote it. We came up with the idea of creating a hotline that people could call and listen to the song before it came out. We used Twilio to set up a phone menu with 3 options, each leading the caller to listen to the song. After hanging up, every caller would receive a text with a link to pre-save the song. We then made these obscure posters with the hotline number and pasted them around New York. Even New York Nico saw it. We also posted images of the posters all over Reddit to reach a broader audience. We ended up getting hundreds of calls from random people, with everyone being led to listen to the song. Overall, this was a huge success and helped us gain a huge amount of streams and followers on Spotify. What's the coolest way you've seen someone promote their own music? Let us know in the comments.
And the whole concept of an artist giving their listeners, a number to call, it's nothing new. It makes me think back when Soulja Boy had that one song with a phone number in the lyrics, and he had like a ton of people calling in. I mean, I like how they went about it a little bit differently by, bringing this campaign to real life. And I know he said they was posting it on Reddit as well, but because of the internet, you don't see too many artists doing a campaign like this. And it even proves that something like this could still be effective, even in a saturated city like New York, right? Like, he didn't get too specific about how or even if they were creating content around the campaign. So they may have had something in place, but I would have been trying to get as much content as possible while putting up the flyers. And he's in the band too, so they could have each taken turns filming, which would have made the process even more simple. But by getting the content, you could then use that for as many short form videos as possible. Of course, I would have also been taking pictures as well, but in this particular situation, I would have made sure that I was using New York hashtags. I was putting New York in the location. That way the algorithm will push it to as many relevant people in that area as possible. So let's say someone just saw the video with the flyers, right? And the content was made in some creative type of way. And the goal would be that they hopefully would later physically see the flyers throughout the city, especially in New York where a lot of people are walking. But that way people can make that connection, and whether they see it in a video first or in real life first, it don't really matter because they can still make that same connection. But this was able to work for them in a city like New York, which got like 7 or 8 million people living there. So if they were able to make it work there, I'd imagine that using this strategy in a smaller city would be even more effective. I mean, not only would it strike curiosity in people, where they might want to know what will happen if they do call the number, but it could also be very helpful when it comes to the perception of your brand and your music. If someone sees multiple videos with flyers in it and then they happen to see it for themselves in person, it gives them the illusion that your brand is everywhere. You feel me? And that's why omnipresence is so powerful. Is it omnipresence? Omnipresence? I don't know, but being everywhere, you know what I'm trying to say. It's just powerful, you feel me? Like, bridging that gap between the internet and real life is something that is going to take you to a different level.
Ugh, it's just f***ing embarrassing, Bradley. I mean, seriously.
I told you not to call me that. My name is Vortex.
Who tells people they're a f***ing rapper when they don't even release any f***ing music?
I'm finna pop off, man. I'm gonna
Where's
be
your
famous,
music
believe
then?
that.
Give me one song by the almighty Vortex that I can actually show people so I don't feel
Whatever.
like such a f***ing loser when I say my boyfriend's
Whatever.
a f***ing rapper.
Yeah.
Always making a fool of
This
yourself out
girl
in
really
public.
tried to hurt my feelings.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking
Tell them
about.
bring us 2 checks. I won't pay for what you getting.
Wow,
Yeah.
seriously?
DistroKid, the best way to get your music on all streaming platforms for only $40 a year. Enjoy 7% off on your first year by clicking our VIP referral link down in the description and get verified on Spotify and become the artist that you claim to be.
Girl, I'm so happy you finally broke up with that loser. You deserve so much better. What? What happened?
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
While we're on the subject of marketing, that's actually a perfect transition into the next video we got from Drew on Spotify, where he breaks down his top 3 music marketing hacks.
You need to start implementing these 3 marketing techniques if you want your music to blow up. The first marketing hack that I have for you guys are these stickers. Now, I ordered 1,000 of these stickers and I give them to friends and families. Do not put them in places where it'll get you in trouble. Put them in areas that will not interfere with any kind of instructions or governmental structures or businesses or all that. Think of places where people are waiting around. Places like bus stops or public washrooms. People are often curious what this sticker might be, often end up scanning it and then end up following me and supporting my music in the long term. Another marketing technique that worked very well for me in my experience are these NFC cards. So these cards could literally redirect you to any URL that you decide to. So for me, I decided to redirect this to my Linktree. And so whenever I'm out in public and someone talks to me about my music, simply just tap this card in the back of their phone and they have all my information. Really just for the convenience, these cards are really worth it. And finally, the most important music marketing tip, in my opinion, is simply social media. All these platforms that are completely free that you could build an audience for nothing. The opportunities that exist on social media are unlike anything before. Don't forget to follow for more independent daily artists.
Alright, man, that's 2 videos in a row now where the advice is to put something out in public. And I was just saying how effective that can be, but the one thing that I'm not hearing is what else goes on it. What else you putting on it? I mean, you got the QR code or the phone number or whatever it is, but what else are you going to put on there that strikes curiosity? Putting stickers at bus stops or urinals and stuff like that, that isn't a bad idea. I just feel like simply putting a sticker with a QR code, it's just, I don't know, man, it's not enough. I mean, tell me if you've done this before down in the comments, but me, I have personally never scanned some random QR code that has nothing else on it just to see what it is. I mean, I don't see anything. All I see is the little square thing and the user handle. What? I'm not putting that to my phone, but I don't know, man. That's just me. But I've thought a lot about different guerrilla marketing tactics and how they can be approached in a way that doesn't come across as lazy or basic. Let's do an example. Let's say you're an R&B singer based in Atlanta and stickers are usually pretty cheap. So let's say you got 1,000 stickers and you're planning to put them up within, let's say, a 5-mile radius. Instead of having a sticker with your Instagram handle and, you know, the QR code on it, and you could put something like Best R&B Artist of the Year, Atlanta Edition. And then you could be like, official winner announced. I would put announce in past tense like that because it will hopefully give whoever sees, you know, some kind of FOMO or something that makes them, you know, curious. Makes them be like, what I miss out on? It's already been announced. And then you could take that as deep as you want, where you could even put some sort of fake media outlet name or something like that. That way it looks less like self-promo and more like news that they just missed out on. And I mean, really, you could even build a 1-page website and design it where it looks like a real winner announcement for this made up award. Like I said, you know, you could take it as deep as you want, but by putting Atlanta Edition, you can make whoever sees it like realize that it's something connected directly with the city that they're in. And by putting R&B on the sticker, you automatically are going to grab the attention of people that already enjoy R&B. Like, I don't know, like personally, I don't really like opera music, right? And, you know, nothing against it. It's just not really my cup of tea, you feel me? But if I saw a sticker that said best opera singer, I'm not really gonna pay it any mind because that's not something I'm into. And between the last clip with the flyers and now this clip with the stickers, they both kind of give the illusion that the goal is to get as many people to scan the code, call the number as possible, because, you know, then they'll go to your Linktree or wherever you're sending them to, and then they'll eventually get led to listening to your music. And I kind of broke down already how I would approach trying to make a complete stranger curious with something like a sticker and a QR code, right? But let's say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm just overthinking this. I'm just thinking too much into it, right? Let's say if you put out a basic sticker and it's just got your Instagram handle and a QR code, and it makes people curious enough where 1,000 people scan that code and they go over to stream your song. Cool, you got 1,000 people to listen to your song, right? Now, because you only put the code and you relied on people's natural curiosity to bring them over to your song, you're gonna have people of all types of demographics and with a huge range of interests. So now, not only are you banking on people being curious enough to scan your link, but you're also banking on the same people liking whatever type of music that you create. And I'm assuming that you have great music. That's not really important, because it's not necessarily about how great your music is in this moment. Like I said, it could be the best opera singer ever. I'm not really gonna rock with it, no matter what. That's just my personal taste. I don't like opera. You could be the best or the worst opera singer. I'm not gonna care either way. I'm gonna look at it the same exact way. So it doesn't matter how good your music is if the people that you're bringing over don't even like the genre of music that you make. But that's not even all. Because again, we're assuming that this plain sticker with a QR code brought 1,000 people over to your Spotify and they played your song, right? So what does it tell to the algorithm when however many people get automatically turned off by your song because your music genre doesn't match their preference? You feel me? Again, let's say you're that R&B singer, and out of those 1,000 people, 600 of them don't even like R&B. That would be 600 people that skip your song all because of their preference and because they didn't know what to expect. And then if this is happening consistently, like day after day, where people are scanning your code, getting to your song and skipping it because they like heavy metal and you make R&B. So not only could this be messing up your fans also but this could be doing some crazy damage to any algorithmic reach that Spotify potentially would have given your song or already was giving your song. So that's really why I feel like it's so important when you're doing a marketing campaign like this to not only try and make people curious enough to scan your code or whatever objective you have. So not only make them curious, but you also want to put something on there, some sort of indicator that speaks directly to a specific audience, a specific group of people that already enjoy the type of music that you make. You feel me? I mean, that's just my 2 cents on the whole sticker thing, or really any type of guerrilla marketing of that nature. But you wouldn't put out a Facebook or a Google ad and not put any type of refinement to it. You feel me? Like where you don't put any interest that they have or their age or their demographics, anything. You just put it out. Show it to anybody that you have on this platform. I mean, come on, that would be crazy, man. Like, not only would you be wasting your time, but any results that you do get or any conversions, rather, all of the data would just be trash just because you was trying to reach everybody and their mama, man. But I will say that second thing he was talking about, that the little NFC cards, the little digital business cards, I've actually never used that before, but it's something that I think will start to become the industry norm. I don't have any facts or data to support that, but I just think about how many times I've gone out to shows and I get all these business cards from people, and half the time I end up losing them, or I just like put them in my car and I forget about them, or, you know, let's be real, I just throw them away. And I feel like it might be easier to make a genuine connection with somebody while you're in the middle of talking with them and you're in the middle of networking, you feel me? So when you go to give them your business card, instead of a physical card, you just use the NFC card and it pops up on their phone where they can lock you in right there. And I feel like that might be a little hack on how you secure the connections that you make with the different people you're networking with. Or really, I'm thinking about all the times where I'll go to exchange Instagram with someone, and because of the loud music, you know, we can't even hear each other. So something like that will make those situations go smooth and easy. But I feel like sometimes I'll be chopping it up with somebody, and then when I go to exchange contact info, their phones be dead or something like that. So, I mean, in that case, if a situation like that comes up, I can see how it would be beneficial to still have some sort of physical, you know, copy of a business card. And I mean, obviously none of this is really anything that an artist should get hung up on. But I mean, like, you can have no business card and still make it work. But sometimes little tools like an NFC card or a business card in general can make doing what you got to do a little bit easier. It's one of those work smarter, not harder type of situations. But yeah, man, he for real reminded me that I need to go ahead and order me one of those for real, man. I need to stop playing. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. Before you go ahead and let me know down in the comments which advice hit you the most. This has been episode 6 of Let's Talk About It. And I'm gonna see y'all same time next week. But y'all keep pushing, cause we starting to gain some leverage.
Put myself on, cause I can't settle for average. I made it a habit of doing what they couldn't get done.
What, you still here? You must not know a video to watch next or something, huh? Alright, man. I got you, bro, but you gonna have to get up out of my studio, cause what the
got me showing up. You can keep your keeper behind the gate if they won't let me in. Yeah. We balancing the scales now, and we got them scared, yeah. We been gaining leverage. What I need a handout for? Watch me really put myself on. And the leverage drop gems, you get all the free game, yeah, yeah. We got plenty more souls.